Hi guys, welcome once again to our 20 stock weekly challenge. Before we do that, let's introduce ourselves first. Okay, so we are Joe and Sarah, and you may get connected to us through Facebook, YouTube, or on our free course channel. We are a husband and wife team, and we believe that together we are better. And together means it includes all of you. And this week, actually, the stock that we are going to introduce to all of you was first introduced to us by this member of the community called Veronica. And we are so heartened that last week and this week, we had members of the community stepping up to share stock ideas with us so that the entire community can benefit. Okay, so what's this stock that we're going to share with you for week 8? Okay, it is called the Psychomedics Company, and this is a patent protected company that is currently issuing a 7.6% dividend yield. Okay, so more about this company. Now, this company, what is very special about it is that it detects drug abuse, okay, not through urine analysis, but through the analysis of hair samples. Okay, and they have a very special patent, okay, that allows them, okay, to protect the technology that they use to digest the hair and release almost 100% of the drugs trapped in the hair. Okay, and because of this patented technology, this company prides itself, okay, in having superior detection techniques. Okay, and this is actually one up against its competitors. Okay, more about this company. What is interesting about this company is that it has very small cap of only 52 million, and because of that, its average trading volume is actually very low. And sorry to disappoint the option traders out there, this stock has too low an option a volume, okay, to be able to offer an option chain. Okay, so it is non-tradable on options. Okay, and what caught our attention is that it's currently giving a dividend yield of 7.6%, and currently the price is around $9, so it's at a low of the year's range. Okay, so why are we introducing this stock as one that can profit, that allow you to profit regardless of market direction? Okay, it is because number one, it is actually currently trading at a low for this year. Okay, and secondly, it is actually it has been very consistent in giving its quarterly dividend. In fact, in October, it announced that it was giving its 93rd consecutive quarterly dividend. And if you actually had this share, okay, if you actually had this share in November 5th, you would have gotten 0.18 per share of dividend paid out to you in November 15th. Okay, and if we were to calculate the yearly dividend, that would be around 72 cents. Okay, and let's calculate the dividend yield. So as of today, okay, the dividend yield we calculated by 0.18 times 4. Okay, and the current share price is $9.47, and that is how we get a 7.6% dividend yield. So even if you do nothing, okay, and you just put your money in this company, and as long as they continue to give a 0.18 dollars every quarter, you're going to get a 7.6% dividend yield at the current price. Okay, and what is interesting about this company is that you can see from Morningstar that since 2010, it has actually been increasing its dividends, okay, up to now at 0.72. Okay, and if we look at the history of dividend from 2013 to 2019, okay, from this website, we can actually see that the quarterly amount that they have been giving since 2013 is between 15 cents to 18 cents. Okay, and their dividend yield has been ranging between 3% to 8%. But the good news is that because you get it now where the price is relatively low, you can actually secure approximately a 7% dividend yield, even with fluctuations in the dividend from 0.15 to 0.18. Okay, but the question of course is, how long can PMD sustain their dividend yield? Okay, now if we take a look at Morningstar, there are some figures that we would like to highlight to you. Okay, so you would notice all these red arrows, okay, which we have actually placed here. Now, this red arrow corresponds to the years where their payout ratio is more than 100%. Okay, this means that they are giving more dividends than their earnings. Okay, so like for example over here, they are giving 58 cents dividends, but their earnings is only 29 cents. Okay, so this translates to a payout ratio of 200%. Okay, and we also saw this in 2012 where they paid more dividends than their earnings. Okay, in 2013 also, okay, almost matching their earnings. Okay, and then in 2015 their dividends was 150 times of their earnings. And over here, in currently, okay, the dividends that they're paying out is 135%, okay, more than of their dividend, of their earnings per share. Okay, so why is it that we still think that this company is worth mentioning is because now for the years that their payout ratio was more than their earnings, you notice that they still have a positive cash flow. Okay, so all this while, their cash flow has been positive, which means that they actually have sufficient reserves to continue giving out the dividends. So that is how this company was able to sustain their dividends, even though they have been paying more dividends than their earnings per share. Okay, so let's take a look at the financials to see whether this company will continue to survive for the next 5 to 10 years. Okay, so looking at this, you can see that the revenue actually has been increasing. And one noteworthy point is that you will notice that from 2016 onwards, there has actually been a sharp increase in the revenue, and we will explain why later on. Okay, and this year, it is actually performing not as well. Okay, as of now, it's not performing as well as in 2018, and we will explain why that is the case as well. Okay, so for the net income, you can also tell that from 2016 onwards, there has been an increase. Okay, and as of current, trailing 12 months is not performing as well as compared to 2018, and we'll explain why. Okay, and the free cash flow has been positive except for 2014. Okay, so this gives us a clue as to why this year they're not performing as well as last year is because of the increase in tax. Okay, so you can see that tax actually has a very, very huge effect on their net income and their EPS. Okay, now looking at the net margins, okay, so it is hovering around 10%, which is okay for a health industry company. Okay, return of equity has mostly been above 15%, and okay, good news is that they are able to cover the interest that they borrow from banks, okay, at a very comfortable rate. Okay, so more about the company. Okay, so this company specializes in hair testing. So how this works is that when someone actually consumes a certain drug or a certain chemical substance, okay, the blood will carry all these substances to the hair where they become trapped. Okay, and the amount that is being trapped in the hair is proportional to the amount that is being ingested. Okay, and to this, the company has a special patent that is able to actually extract almost 100% of these drugs from that is trapped in the hair. Okay, and this is a very strong patent that is not owned by any other company. Okay, and then after they have released the drugs out from the hair, they will then use their special immunoassay screen, okay, and then confirm it with mass spectrometry. Okay, so this particular patent and this particular process of detecting the drugs in the hair has actually been validated by many separate entities. So like, for example, independent studies, which consist of field studies and their own client results, have already consistently confirmed that PMD has a superior detection rate as compared to urine analysis, which is what their competitors are using. Okay, so as compared to urine analysis, they are not as sharp in terms of detection. So they actually result in many false negatives. Okay, so PMD is able to pick up even very low amounts of drugs that are being ingested as compared to urine analysis. Okay, so by the National Institute of Justice, okay, so they are also able to show that hair analysis, okay, is actually more sensitive. So for example, hair analysis revealed that the average prison drug use, okay, was approximately 7.9% in 1996. Okay, but okay, even though the same sample was being tested using urine analysis, they revealed virtually no positives. Okay, so we can see that a PMD's testing method is actually more superior in terms of detection. Okay, but what about false positive results? Okay, what if somebody actually happens to walk past in the air and then like the drugs get trapped onto the hair? Okay, so this may result in false positives. Okay, so the FBI have actually concluded with their studies that, okay, if this particular test, okay, is being done after a wash protocol is being done, it will actually exclude any false positive results from the environment. Okay, so this actually adds on to the validity of their proprietary testing methods. Okay, so after they have actually released the drug from the hair, okay, they will actually put the drugs through a unique immunoassay screen, okay, to be used together with the patented method to release the drugs. Okay, and this unique immunoassay screen is fully developed by this company and it's also been cleared by FDA. Okay, so at this point you may be wondering, okay, well, how is it that I'm able to understand all this, right? So just want to share a very short tidbit about myself. I'm actually a life science graduate. So together with Veronica, who actually is trained in medical science, we are like nerds when it comes to the healthcare industry. Okay, this is also the reason why Joe is not here. Okay, so moving on. Okay, so now that we understand what the company does, okay, what are some application and potential revenue sources? Okay, the first is pre-employment testing, because companies are interested to know the history of drug abuse of their potential employees. Okay, and second thing, okay, so sometimes when urine analysis is being tested, okay, and the consumer is being test positive, okay, and repeat testing needs to be done. Okay, if repeat testing is to be done, you cannot do it again using urine analysis, because the ingested drug, okay, will disappear from the urine within a matter of a few hours. Okay, so repeat testing has to be done through hair testing. Okay, so third one is actually through professional drivers, because they definitely cannot have drug abuse. Okay, so in the US, currently they permit urine analysis. Okay, but later on I would share, based on an annual report, that actually in Brazil they have actually started to use hair testing. Okay, and this therefore is a huge contributor to PMD's revenue source. Okay, and they are also, PMD is also servicing hundreds of schools throughout the United States. Okay, and of course schools, they are interested to know whether their kids, okay, are actually taking drugs actively. And for concerned parents, okay, PMD also offers a personal drug testing service known as PDT-90. Okay, so if you look at the revenue sources by geographical location, almost 100%, so around 65% of the revenue actually comes from the US, and we can see that from 2016 onwards, okay, there has been quite a consistent revenue coming in from Brazil. Okay, approximately 30% coming in from Brazil. Okay, and then a very, very small percentage from other companies. And we just want to talk about Brazil for a while, because it actually takes up 30% of its revenue. Okay, and in fact, it was responsible for the net income spike in 2016. So you can, if you take note of the 2016 financial figures, you can see that there was actually a sudden jump in revenue from 27 million to 39 million. Okay, and because of that, there was a jump in the gross margin and a jump in the net margin, and therefore a great jump in the EPS. You can see from 0.28 to 1.22. Okay, so why is this the case? It's because in 2015, there was a mandated program from a law passed in Brazil, okay, that all professional drivers must be tested. Okay, and in 2016, Brazil started testing for drug abuse for all professional drivers using hair tests. Okay, and because PMD has the patent for releasing almost 100% of the drugs from its hair, okay, it is no surprise that Brazil would actually engage, okay, PMD as one of its companies to actually test its professional drivers, and this has been a substantial source of income for Brazil, accounting for 30% of their revenue. Okay, unfortunately, Brazil has also affected the net income in not such a good way. Okay, so for example, if you take a look at the 2018 onwards, what happened was that there was an increase in exchange rate, okay, to the Brazilian dollar, and also there was a certain tax act that was passed in 2017 that affected, okay, the net income. Okay, so just take a look at this. In the 10K report, okay, there was a 6% negative impact from foreign currency exchange, okay, because it was not to their favor, and there was a passing of the Tax Act in 2017, okay, which resulted in increasing the Brazil net tax rate, okay, and this actually caused the net income to dip in 2018 and subsequently currently as well. Okay, so these are the factors that affect the revenue. So we also want to take a look at their competition to see whether, okay, the company can survive, okay, in the next 5 to 10 years. Okay, so this testing for drug abuse is actually a very competitive industry. Okay, but the good thing is that most of its competitors are actually testing for drugs primarily through urine analysis. Okay, so what really keeps PMD very safe is because they are doing hair testing, and also they have that technology that is being patented. Okay, so that even though they have competition from other hair testing laboratories, they are still superior because they have the patented extraction method, and also because of their unique immunoassay screen that has been cleared by FDA. And if we were to do a comparison with their major competitor, Quest Diagnostics, okay, so Quest Diagnostics also does hair analysis, but most of their revenue, okay, actually comes from urine analysis. Okay, so if you compare side by side, now PMD's patented method, okay, allows it to have superior detection rates, okay, versus Quest Diagnostics, okay. And for hair, because the hair grows 1.3 cm per month, okay, so the company actually for every test they take 3.9 cm of hair, which means that they are able to detect a person's consumption of drugs in a 3-month window. Okay, whereas for drugs that are being ingested, okay, they will disappear from the urine sample in a matter of a few hours. Okay, so you are not able to find out the pattern or the history of drug abuse by a person. Okay, and of course for hair collection, okay, which can be from the head or from the body, it can be taken under close supervision. Okay, so the tester can be very sure that the hair sample belongs to the person that they want to test. Okay, but for urine analysis, okay, because the person has to go to the toilet, okay, to extract the urine, okay, there's no telling whether the urine sample that is being provided is really from the person or not. And in fact, there has been many industries that are sprouting up, okay, to actually offer dilutants, okay, to its consumers, and also false urine samples to its consumers. So the consumers can actually easily order dilutants or these fake urine samples to give to the companies for urine testing. So it's very easy, okay, to maneuver around urine testing, okay, that will result in a false negative. Okay, and because of its superior detection rate, PMD's method is actually more expensive as compared to other competitors like Quest Diagnostics. Okay, so in summary, we just want to summarize the strengths and the risks when it comes to investing in this company. Okay, so the strengths of this company definitely is in its patent, especially the one that allows it to digest the hair and release almost 100% of the drugs trapped in the hair. Okay, and the second strength is that it has been giving dividends consecutively for 93 quarters. Okay, and this this is actually okay because it was covered by the positive cash flow, and the EPS has been positive and increasing for the past 10 years. Okay, however, there are certain risks as well. So we have seen just now that the payout ratio was more than 90% for several years. In fact, for several years it was 100%. So we are unable to ascertain if PMD can keep up with its dividends. And of course, because they are actually giving out quite a high percentage of their earnings to dividends, it seems like they do not have plans for future growth. Okay, because if a company is growing, they would actually choose not to give dividends and invest their EPS back into the company for growth. Okay, so given that it is actually giving out quite a high percentage of its earnings to dividends, it seems like this company does not have plans for future growth, which may limit its capital gain. Okay, and the revenue is actually currently highly dependent on its patent, and the moat of the company will be very severely affected if the patent expires. And the patent was first given in 2011, and usually the patent, any patent that is given will expire within 15 to 20 years. Okay, so currently the company is on the 8th year of its patent. So I mean, I think this company is still good to go for another 7 years until its patent expires. Okay, so let us know your views, okay, on whether you would invest in this patent protected company, and let us have your views on what you think about PMD, currently giving a 7.6 dividend yield. Okay, so we'll see you next week. Bye bye.